This is a 1971 Morgan 4.4, four-seater. There were probably only about 30 of this model built in 1971 at the Morgan factory in Malvern Link, England. And this is a pretty good example, I think. It was imported by an American naval officer who actually was a Brit himself, a naturalized U.S. citizen, who bought the car in England. I think he was the second or third keeper of the car at that point, and drove it there for his years when he was stationed as a naval officer in London, and imported the car back to the United States in the late 80s, I believe. It was really pretty difficult to get the car past the stringent U.S. requirements, but Neil Moffett, the man who did it, managed to pull that off. It's a pretty standard Morgan interior, brown leather, very utilitarian really. The dashboard is brown leather over wood. Instruments all work and they are vintage. An aero screen behind the windshield allows the driver to have some protection when the windshield comes off. It's kind of fun to drive the car that way. A Morgan signature is the leather strap over the bonnet. And this one I've replaced just last fall because the one that was there and original was pretty ratty. I also replaced all four wheels and tires. The tires were 15 or 20 years old and had lost a lot of their elasticity. And the wheels, although they looked good, were way out of round. And when I looked into getting them tuned, repaired, and repainted, it was actually going to cost more than buying wheels from Morgan. So we put new ones on, which were made in India, by the way. The sheet metal, as you can see, is pretty darn straight, and the paint job, even though it too is close to 30 years old, is awfully good. A few chips here and there, especially at the front. I'll show you the pretty immaculate engine compartment next. Morgan never made their own engines. Always used ones from other manufacturers, which is probably a pretty smart thing. This particular engine is a Ford. It's 1.6 liters. It's got a sort of a half-race camshaft and a Weber carburetor. And a stainless steel tuned exhaust. Typically these cars have a pretty tired engine compartment because the louvers in the bonnet allow all sorts of water and other things to get inside and typically rust out the sheet metal there. This car, during its rebuild, had all of the metal painted and renewed down here. All of the electrics work very well. I had a slight leak in the radiator and had to have that redone for a mere $40 in Portland. I took it down to a specialist a few months ago, and the cooling system is efficient and really pretty great. Morgan's also known for its 8-cylinder cars. They took a slightly different version of this car, a little wider, and put a V8 made by General Motors, an Oldsmobile, I believe. No, it was a Buick V8. And installed in, an aluminum one, in the car. And of course those plus 8s, they're called, were real hot rods. The green that you see here is Rover Sage green, the color, and it's the green portion you're looking at is aluminum. The wings, the black areas over the wheels, they're steel, and it's a funny combination, but it really seems to work. And although this car hasn't seen much water, certainly since its rebuild, the steel seems to be working just fine.